Thanks for logging on to Wayne.com. He's Tom Davis of the News Sentinel. I'm Glenn Marini, and we have only 5 teams left when it comes to Northeast Indiana football. It's time for regional championships to be crowned on Friday, and not some of the old characters are still there. The old guard with Lewis and Snyder and Surprise and Dwenger. But Carroll winning its first sectional since 2001, and also Heritage winning its first sectional in quite some time, since 2004. What do you see as the keys, if you're Carroll and Heritage, to getting this far in the tournament?
Well, it's really surprising, quite honestly, and God bless those kids in the program because they've done a fantastic job. But, I mean, nobody thought Carroll would upset Penn on the road, and nobody thought Heritage could knock off Jimtown. Not only knock them off, but beat them fairly convincingly. And so it's really been a shock. But I tell you, they've represented the city of Fort Wayne, this area, very, very well, and it shows that we have really good football in this area. Yeah,
let's start out our analysis with 5A, and we'll start it off with the Carroll Chargers. Doug Dinan in his 3rd year leading this program, and they're playing just about as well as they can play. We saw that in the Penn game, and it came down to the wire. They pulled it out, which was nice to see, with a big field goal by Baden Lee, and then an ensuing touchdown that really just added some points to the buffer. But with Carroll this week, what do you see as a big key in this week's game?
Well, the thing about Carroll is they are very confident. They've gone 2 weeks in a row needing last-second field goals to win the game, and they did it. And what's really interesting, these kids are just finding a way to win, and they use their defense to score points. Last week they needed to generate offense through their defense. 2 interceptions returned, last-second fumble recovery returned. And remember when you and I would sit there a few years ago, it wasn't that long ago, and we'd say, boy, Carroll is a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
It should be a lot better than it really is. It just shows if you get the right guy in there, he corrals those kids, works them hard 52 weeks out of the year, and gets them to believe, like these kids are believing, anything's possible. And you know, a lot of people think, well, going to Merrillville, that's going to be a really daunting task for them. You know, is it any harder than winning at Penn? I don't think so. So I think these kids, both Carroll and Heritage, can do anything they want to do the rest of the tournament. I don't doubt them for a minute. I think that they can get it done.
And talking to Doug Dinan, I know leading up to last week's game, he was kind of like, after the Penn game, they played the first week at LaPorte, then the second week at Penn. They were like, hey, after that Penn win, why can't we play every game on the road? We need to drive 2 hours for every game to get ourselves ready. They will be ready to take on this Merrillville team.
Absolutely. Very experienced coaching staff, excellent coach in Doug Dinan. The Tranquil brothers do it on both sides of the ball. And Chris Terry is a very balanced quarterback. He can hurt you with his legs or his arm. They're just an excellent football team right now. Very, very scary to face.
And one of the things that you see with the good teams is they add a wrinkle as they move on. And one of the wrinkles that Carroll's really added very effectively is the Wildcat formation, where Drew Tranquil takes the direct snap. We've seen Lures do it as well with Mike Rogers.
It's the Cougar at Lures, though.
Okay.
They call it the Cougar.
They don't want to call it the Wildcat. But how does that make them tougher to guard? Because Carroll's got some real athletes, some legitimate athletes at those skill positions.
They do have playmakers. Like I said, the Tranquil brothers on both sides of the ball. Justin returned an interception for a touchdown, and Drew can run the ball. And so, yeah, in that Wildcat formation, he can get the ball to some people, and he can keep it himself and run it. And so, yeah, Carroll, obviously, with their enrollment, they've always had the athletes. It's just getting that to translate onto success on the football field, and they're doing that now.
I like Carroll by 7.
I'll take Carroll by a last-second field goal.
Oh, my goodness.
3 weeks in a row.
Why not? Why not? It makes some sense. They got soccer players out there that can do it. I know the kicker Baden Lee was like, I'm a soccer player by trade.
Name me a sport Carroll's not good at.
Oof.
Baseball, cross country,
swimming.
Track. Swimming, they're great. They're great at swimming.
Golf.
I'm not up on their golf.
Pretty good.
I bet you they're good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Great school, great program.